If you had only checked the box score of this match, you would assume there was some error in the system. Alex Eala completely destroyed a top 50 experienced player in Rome, delivering a brutal 6-0 bagel that left Magdalena Fręch looking visibly shocked on the court. Let me describe the scene for you. You simply do not stroll onto the clay in Rome and serve a 30-minute bagel to a world number 45 clay court expert by chance. That kind of result does not occur in professional tennis. The clay surface slows down every shot. It gives defensive players plenty of time to react and chase down balls. Yet that is precisely what Alex Eala achieved. She transformed the historic Nicola Pietrangeli Stadium into an atmosphere that felt like a packed arena in Manila. I'm telling you, the noise was incredibly loud. You could sense the energy pulsing through the crowd every time she hit the ball. Spectators were standing from the opening game onward. While the whole internet is now fixated on the final score and that dramatic third-set comeback, most people are overlooking the clever tactical change that enabled this dominant performance in the first place. Alex Eala did not merely outperform Magdalena Fręch today. She introduced a fresh psychological and physical tool that the entire WTA Tour is currently not ready to face. We are going to examine the exact baseline trap she created on the clay. We will understand why a seasoned veteran appeared totally lost in the first set, and we will discuss what this victory means for the remainder of her 2026 season ahead. Let's dive into the footage and see exactly what unfolded under the Italian sun. But keep in mind, the true story is not the final score displayed on your screen. It is the frightening new weapon she just released to achieve it. To truly understand the scale of what happened in Rome, you must recognize that she is an absolute nightmare to face on clay. She has built her entire career on pulling opponents into long, tiring rallies that push their physical and mental endurance to the limit. Before we analyze the secret behind the win, you need to know exactly who Magdalena Fręch is and why this particular victory holds such huge importance for a young career. She is the ultimate baseline grinder, a Polish defensive specialist who excels on red clay and ruthlessly punishes young players who hurry their shots or attempt to end points too quickly. We are talking about a player who reached world number 22 not long ago. She relies on sharp tactical awareness and a stubborn determination not to hand out free points. She makes you produce 5 or 6 flawless shots just to claim 1 point. Beating her on a slow surface like Rome is expected to be a tough, painful battle that demands hours of physical effort. It becomes a true war of attrition in which the mentally weaker player eventually breaks. The reality is that young players often lose composure against this style. They enter the court full of power, but they feel mounting pressure as the ball keeps returning. They begin aiming for the lines. They hit too aggressively, trying to produce impossible winners. They accumulate unforced errors. They mentally collapse when their strongest shots are repeatedly returned, no matter how powerfully they strike the ball. Knowing this background makes Alex Eala's flawless 30-minute opening set not only extremely impressive but almost statistically unbelievable. Think about it for a moment, 30 minutes to take apart a player who has spent years mastering defense. You do not defeat a grinder by grinding more intensely. You defeat them by completely changing the script and altering the court's geometry. It is supposed to be impossible for a 20-year-old to achieve this against an established veteran on one of tennis's biggest stages, yet she stepped onto the court with calm focus and did it anyway. She made a veteran look like a junior out there. If watching this young star completely change the rules against experienced veterans on European clay fills you with pride, then you are the exact type of dedicated tennis fan who should join our community right now. Sign up immediately so we can follow her historic journey together every week. Because what she did to break down that Polish defensive wall in under 30 minutes is a masterclass in modern tennis strategy, something you must witness to fully believe. The secret to that 6-0 demolition was not only raw power, it was something far more calculated. Alex Eala delivered a masterclass in what coaches call aggressive patience. Young players usually come out wanting to smash every ball for highlight reel winners. They want instant finishes and try to overpower the ball. But Alex Eala completely rejected that typical young player tendency to go for low percentage shots early. She did not rush. Instead, she struck with powerful depth and heavy topspin. She pinned Magdalena Fręch 3 full feet behind the baseline and kept her there. Visualize this geometry. Rome's red clay is very slow and absorbs pace. If you attempt a flat winner, the clay kills the speed and the ball sits up nicely for a defender to counter. Magdalena Fręch builds her game on exactly those shots. She waits for impatience and mistakes, but Alex Eala refused to fall into the trap. She countered the Polish trap by creating a superior one of her own. She began brushing up on the ball with tremendous racket speed, generating massive revolutions per minute so the ball exploded off the clay. When it landed, it did not simply bounce forward, it kicked up sharply to shoulder height. Magdalena Fręch prefers the ball at waist level. By forcing it up to her shoulders, Alex Eala completely neutralized the veteran's ability to step in and control the point. Let's examine the rally data from that first set because it is astonishing. Alex Eala was comfortably controlling 15-shot rallies. She was making Fręch work hard while taking zero unnecessary risks. There is one particular rally in the fourth game that perfectly reveals this new approach. Fręch served wide and Alex Eala returned deep down the middle. Fręch tried a short slice to pull Alex forward and create panic. In the past, a young player might have attempted a risky drop shot or aggressive line shot. Not this time. Alex Eala rushed forward and hit a heavy topspin looping ball straight back to the baseline. She kept pushing Fręch deeper. 5 shots, 10 shots, 13 shots. The stadium fell silent. You could only hear the loud sliding on clay and the players' heavy breathing. The Polish veteran was sliding side to side while the 20-year-old calmly controlled the court's geometry from the center. Finally, on the 15th shot, Fręch hit a desperate defensive lob that sailed long. Alex Eala essentially beat the veteran at her own game, only with 10 times more power. Magdalena Fręch herself admitted after the match that she was completely overwhelmed by the constant heavy pace. But the pace was not only physical, it was tactical. Every single ball Alex Eala hit landed within 2 feet of the baseline. That level of consistent accuracy demands exceptional mental focus. You could clearly see the veteran's frustration growing. She had no solutions for the depth. Alex Eala was playing chess while Fręch was stuck playing checkers on the clay. It was flawless tactical execution that shattered the confidence of a top 50 player in just one set. That relentless depth secured the first set. However, the weapon she used to close out the match and survive the tough third set is what should truly alarm the rest of the tour right now. When the situation turned difficult in the third set and she trailed 1-3, Alex did not panic. Instead, she brought out the most dangerous shot in her arsenal. She unveiled a completely improved lefty forehand that creates angles that seem to defy physics. You must remember that Magdalena Fręch is a professional and a tough competitor. She was never going to surrender easily after a 6-0 first set. She made smart adjustments in the second set, stepping inside the baseline to take the ball earlier. She forced Alex Eala onto the defensive and pushed the match into a deciding third set. Momentum had shifted completely. The crowd grew very nervous. A 1-3 deficit in the final set against a defensive specialist is usually devastating for a young player. The pressure feels overwhelming. Most players would break down and commit big errors, but that is exactly when the tactical trap closed. Alex Eala began producing impossible cross-court angles. She was not simply hitting hard, she was ripping the ball off the surface. She started taking the ball very early on the rise before it reached the top of the bounce. She created angles that pushed Magdalena Fręch completely out of position. It was thrilling to watch live. She would hit a heavy ball deep to the backhand, forcing Fręch into the corner. Then, as soon as Fręch replied with a slightly shorter ball, Alex Eala would step in and unleash a lefty forehand cross-court at an extremely sharp angle. The ball would cross the net and dive hard toward the sideline. Fręch could not even reach it. This was not ordinary tennis, it was pure aggressive geometry. I have analyzed tennis for years and I want to know from you, have you ever seen a young player rebuild her forehand geometry so dramatically mid-match under such pressure? This kind of execution is extremely rare. Share your thoughts in the comments about this new lefty weapon and how it raises her potential this year. The ability to switch from patient grinding to lethal shot-making while trailing in a final set shows an elite mental strength we have not seen from her before. She understood that the aggressive patience approach was no longer sufficient. She needed to take complete control away from her opponent, so she did exactly that. She used heavy topspin to open the court and then deployed vicious lefty angles to finish points. She totally destroyed the Polish defensive wall. Magdalena Fręch was left chasing shadows on the clay. The veteran was forced so far out of position that she nearly ended up in the front row. Alex Eala controlled the match when the pressure was at its peak. She faced danger directly and responded with confidence. Do not just accept my description, the crowd's reaction and her opponent's own words prove what a huge statement this win truly was. If you need evidence of this major transformation, you do not even need the scoreboard or statistics. Just listen to the stadium and the veteran who was defeated. The Nicola Pietrangeli Stadium is one of the most famous and stunning tennis venues in the world, surrounded by marble statues and rich European tennis history. But for 2 unforgettable hours, it turned into a passionate home crowd for Alex Eala. A huge wave of red, blue, and yellow flags filled the historic stands. The Filipino community in Italy did not come just to watch quietly. They brought intense, electric energy that clearly powered her big comeback in the final set. Feel the atmosphere during that deciding third set. Tennis is usually a quiet, respectful sport where the umpire demands silence during rallies. But when Alex Eala went down 1-3, the crowd refused to let her lose. Every heavy lefty forehand drew gasps of excitement. Every hard-fought rally win triggered massive roars that shook the venue. They chanted her name during changeovers and turned a calm Thursday in Rome into a wild Friday night in Manila. That kind of support is terrifying for any opponent. Magdalena Fręch was not only battling a 20-year-old talent, she was facing an entire passionate nation that carried their star to victory when she was exhausted. The strongest confirmation came from across the net after the match. In her post-match press conference, Magdalena Fręch looked physically tired and mentally drained. As a proud veteran who has competed against the best for years, she offered no excuses. She openly confirmed everything we saw in the footage. The Polish player called Alex a truly great fighter. She admitted the relentless pace and heavy topspin in the first set shocked her defensive game. She confessed she could not manage the sharp angles of that lefty forehand in the crucial moments of the third set. It is very rare for an established veteran to publicly admit she was tactically outplayed by a 20-year-old. Veterans usually blame conditions or minor injuries, but Fręch simply gave full credit to the geometric power from the other side. When a battle-hardened defensive expert admits a young star outgunned her on her favorite surface, you know a major shift in the game is occurring right now. She proved beyond doubt that she can dismantle a top veteran on slow European clay. But the real test of this new aggressive approach is coming soon. This is not only about reaching the next round. It is about a 20-year-old discovering she now possesses the tactical tools to compete with the very best players in the world. This big win in Rome is not just a nice underdog tale. It is a powerful warning to the entire WTA Tour. Alex Eala will next face world number 33 Wang Xinyu. This is the high-stakes revenge match she needs after her straight sets loss to Wang in Auckland earlier this year. The media is already building up the rematch as a key test of her progress. But let me be completely clear. The Alex Eala appearing in Rome is a totally different player from the one we saw in January. She has completely transformed her baseline game. Wang Xinyu prefers clean flat shots in her ideal strike zone. In Auckland, Wang could step in and dominate because the ball sat up nicely at waist height. But this new version of Alex Eala hits with massive heavy topspin that kicks up high out of the strike zone. Wang will be forced to hit her backhand from above her shoulders, very difficult to control on slow clay. This is a true clash of styles. Alex Eala now has the perfect geometric weapons, aggressive patience, lethal lefty strikes that push opponents deep, and a huge global crowd that follows her like a loyal army. Reaching the top 30 is no longer a distant dream, it is a mathematical certainty. She has the heavy weapons, supreme physical endurance, and now the elite tactical maturity to combine them on the biggest stages. The upcoming Wang Xinyu rematch will be a fierce war of attrition on the clay. Tell me in the comments what you think about this upcoming tactical battle. Do you believe this new baseline strategy and lethal lefty forehand will be enough for her to defeat Wang Xinyu and achieve revenge? Share your exact score predictions below. Subscribe now so you don't miss the breakdown of the revenge match the moment it finishes.